In today's session, we are going to study about your last method, that is your grid-based clustering. Till now, we have seen about your partitioning clustering, then we have seen your hierarchical clustering, then we have seen your density-based. Your last method of your clustering is your grid-based clustering. What do you mean by a grid? Grid is nothing but a small blocks, yes or no? Now, basically, this uses your multi-resolution concept. Why it is using your multi-resolution? Multi-resolution is used because to give the clear information or clarity about the information. That's the reason we are using your multi-resolution. Here we are going to use an algorithm called as your sting approach. You all can see here grid-based clustering method using multiple resolution grid data structure, several interesting methods. Here, as I told you, your multi-resolution is nothing but what? It gives you a clear information, clarity of the information. And I told you it is using your sting approach. What do you mean by sting? It's a statistical information grid approach which was given by Wank, and this is basically we'll talk about your spatial area. If you all can remember, we have spoke about your spatial database. In your spatial database, what did we talk about? We have spoke about your Google Maps. Google Maps is the best example. When you are seeing your Google Maps, what are you doing? When you are enlarging the Google Maps, you are finding small blocks of data there. Yes or no? The pixels. That is in the form of what? Rectangles. Same thing, the spatial area is divided into what? Your rectangle cells. There are several levels of cells corresponding to different levels of resolution. You all can see here, you have your first layer, you have your I minus first layer, then your ith layer. There you can see down you have small blocks. Basically, your grid has initially it has very small blocks. When coming to the bottom, it has large and n number of blocks compared to your first one. Now let's see with your string clustering method. As I told you, you have a cells here. So each cell at a high level is what partitioned into number of smaller cells. In the next lower levels, that's what. In the first level, if you have a big one, when coming into the second level, that one might be divided into two. In the third level, that two might be divided into four. That four might be divided into 16. Like that. So multiples, it becomes more and smaller in size. Statistical information of each cell is calculated and stored beforehand and is used to answer queries. Beforehand only we'll be using getting the information and we'll be storing because to answer the queries. Here the parameters are what? Your count, mean, minimum, maximum, or your z test, t test, or your standard deviations. These are the different parameters which we'll be using to calculate your string clustering. If you all can remember, in your partitioning method, we have seen a parameter that is called as what I have considered centroid as a parameter. Based upon that parameter only, I have constructed the or I have segregated or divided the clusters. Same way here you have count, mean, min, max, everything. Now coming up with your next, that is your top down approach. As I told you initially, the first level you have bigger one, next coming to down it has divided into two, then four, then six. So down you have n number of small cells compared to your first. So it is your top down approach. It starts from a pre-selected layer, typically with a small number of cells. For each cell in the current level, compute the confidence interval. As I told you, the same thing, as it is going on from top to bottom, these are all increasing. Now, this calculation of this parameter should start from root and then come to the bottom. That is the main rule for this. Next, let's move upon to your outlier analysis. We all have seen this outlier analysis when we are studying the first unit, that is all about your functionalities. What do you mean by an outlier? Outlier is nothing but an anomaly. Now, I'll give you a simple example. I have a cluster of vegetables. Now, if I have a single fruit in that vegetable, now that fruit is an anomaly. I need to remove that anomaly. For that purposes, I will be using the outlier analysis. And it is important to understand what the quality of the data also. If there are too many outliers or if there are too many anomalies, I can't take that data. I can't trust that data. Yes or no? Because if I have n number of mistakes in the data, how do I consider it? How do I do it? So that's the reason your outlier analysis is used. You all can see here the process in which the behavior of the outliers is identified in a data set, which is called outlier analysis. It is also known as what? Your outlier mining. The process is defined as a significant task of data mining. Outliers are discarded at many places when data mining is applied, but it is still used in many applications like fraud detection, medicals, etc. You all can see some of the applications about your outlier analysis. Any unusual responses that occurs due to medical treatment can be analyzed through outlier analysis in data mining. Next is your fraud detection in telecom industry. Next is in market analysis. Outlier analysis enables marketers to identify the customer's behavior. Next you have in the medical analysis field, then you have your fraud detection in banking, finance, such as credit card, insurance sector, etc. Now, how can I say that fraud detection in the telecom industry? See, on a single Aadhaar card number, they might take multiple phone numbers. Now, a single person can't use the multiple phone numbers, right? If a person is taking mobile SIM card for his family, it might be maximum 3 or 4 with the same number, but it can't be either 10, 15, 20. So there I can detect something is fishy there. So in that such analysis, outlier analysis is used. You can take the examples of the terrorists, how they are doing it based upon the fraud proofs, fake proofs. They are taking this thing that can be analyzed using your outlier analysis. How when the customer behavior, how your outlier analysis is used? See, I am searching for a product. So when I am searching for a product, if I search the same product for twice, thrice or fourth time, at least if I am really interested in buying the product, I will do what? I will purchase it. Otherwise, I'll just not do it. So with this, the outlier analysis helps the marketer or the people to get the or identify the customer's behavior, whether the product, whatever these people are looking, are they buying it, or they are just the surfers. Like surfer is nothing but you who are just watching the products or just checking out the reviews. Everything, this outlier is used. Next, coming up with your banking and finance, such as your credit cards, insurances. Yes, based upon your fake proofs, you can take credit cards, insurance. By giving a fake proofs, you can even get your insurance money. So this all can also be, these are nothing but your fraud detections. So this all also can be analyzed by your outlier analysis. This is all about your outlier analysis. In today's session, we have studied about your grid-based clustering, the last method of your clustering, and we have seen about your outlier analysis. Thank you.